Good evening, everyone. We've begun with a webinar, maybe just a minute to get everyone settled in. There's a little section on house rules for this webinar this evening. We hope you all enjoy it, and I hope it's extremely insightful for everyone joining. But just to make sure that we all have a smooth ride this evening, we request you to, yeah, kind of just go through the rules, but the general basic stuff like muting yourself, and we have Q&A at the end of this webinar. So if you have any questions, please write them in the chat and we'll be sure to pass them on to the speakers. There is, of course, the limit of time, so we will do our best. But nevertheless, this recording will be available. This will be uploaded to Urban Cycling Institute's YouTube channel and on the website. So you can access it as well there and share it further. So I think without further ado, I pass it on to Meredith Glazer. Yeah, Meredith.
Thank you. And my screen's up, right, Shafali?
Yes.
And Shafali, you can also introduce yourself, but everyone, Shafali, UCI Communications Head. But I'm so happy to be here and really have a conversation, and that's what we wanted to do here today, to share some insights and also gather some ideas from the audience joining us today. What your challenges are, what burning questions you would want to bring to Barcelona if you were to join, and also maybe even more importantly to speak with some of our keynote experts who are going to be joining us in Barcelona, which we are so excited about. But before getting into all of that, we have to build up a little bit of suspense, right? I would love to just start with what UCI courses are about. And with that, Urban Cycling Institute is headquartered here in Amsterdam. And yes, most of our courses and study visits are based here in Amsterdam or in other Dutch cities, where conditions for learning are set up in a way that the courses almost teach themselves, right? I mean, you look at this, you experience this type of matured cycling environment, a very immersive experience, which is crucial to all of our learning courses and learning products. And there are clear benefits to being immersed in this type of environment and also learning from your peers. It's a very social experience on many different levels. But actually, in the last year, our work has brought us to other parts of Europe and also the world where cycling and street transformations are more recently taking hold. And some of these examples are Paris here on the left and Zurich here on the right, where we have held strategic study visits, also in partnership with other partners that we've worked with, but as also a part of our transition readiness program, where we work with cities for a longer period of time, and where study visits and other learning products, learning activities are taking place. And we've even gone to more rural communities, like in Epinal, France, which is a very large, expansive region of 78 small villages. And emerging cycling cities can tell us something very different about the struggles related to this pace of change. And that's what really inspired me in Barcelona. So I was in Barcelona in the spring of this year. We worked together here with Ruth, and with Maria Lisa from the Metropolitan Regional Authority. And what I was surprised and inspired by was when we think of Barcelona, we think of, this sort of the smaller city that has all of these incredible historic landmarks. And actually, Barcelona itself, the region, is made up of more than 30 municipalities that expands over a large geography. And so the regional authority here is tasked with coordinating all of this and navigating these tensions with each city and each city council, and each city has their own technicians and their own household dynamics and population. So there is so much very interesting work and also parallels with other regions, including in the US, right? Where regions are really large. They expand from multiple cities. So here we are. We did a workshop with the regional authority. I rode, I can't remember how many kilometers we rode together, Maria Lisa, many, maybe up to 20 or so, where we rode for a half a day all over the region to really experience the city. And it was very inspiring for me to see the pace of change that has happened over the streets and from a policy level as well. So again, what inspired me was these like very top-down efforts, right? Where there continues to be challenges and struggles and tensions around coordination, around fragmentation, around political struggles, right? These are all very real and happening. And at the same time, we can see very tangibly these transformations in streets. So beautiful, brand new, bidirectional cycle path, transecting basically the whole city, right? Offering a totally new network to get around in. So the transformations not only of streets, but also of standards and policies and new ways of working together are very visible and are very tangible. And again, this pace of change was very inspiring to see. At the same time, we can see that these more recent, almost tactical changes are still very new, right? In this photo, you can still see the scars of yesterday. So the new tissue of this urban fabric is very visible and is still debated. So by no means are we presenting Barcelona as this sort of pedestal of best practices, or we want to highlight that the struggles are there, and that we can all learn from them. I don't have any pictures here exactly of the super blocks, but I think a lot of us know about the super blocks, and yes, we will be visiting them and seeing them and exploring them. But they're not like a core part of this course, even though the ideas behind them definitely are, which is how to implement quick build and tactical and community-oriented public space. So at the same time of all this sort of top-down efforts, we also see a lot of bottom-up efforts. And I was extraordinarily inspired by participating and volunteering with the BC Bus, the bike bus, one morning on my trip there. And it really connected with me, I mean, as a mother, but also as seeing this very vibrant community where people are, spending their own time to help organize and run this. And again, here we also see challenges and struggles that are so fascinating to explore, right? How can a social movement like this scale up? How can it become permanent? How can it encourage new types of social movements? How can we rethink our streets as spaces for play and social interaction rather than only movement? What I experienced this morning was so much joy and laughter and playing that I think a lot of the kids even forgot that they're on their way to school, right? And so this combination of top down and bottom up, combined with such a rich culture of protest and demonstration, this all generates a fascinating and very fertile learning environment to explore urgent and relevant questions. Um, of course, a very urgent and relevant question being, what can we do, right? What actions can we take forward? I think many of you listening in here are from all over the world. As with many of Urban Cycling Institute courses and network, a lot of our programs encourage this global community of people who are very inspired by taking action. And that is definitely a key part of this course, as with all of our courses, is actionable steps towards transformation. So each day in the program, we'll definitely be reflecting, we'll be discussing what actions you would like to take in your city. Learning from Barcelona is a fantastic example, but of course, every context is different. And we're so happy to partner with Zikla and the Zikla team. We were riding around in Barcelona all together, and seeing these very tactical guerrilla style changes on the streets, and what a fantastic partner to support this course. But Zikla, which is based in Barcelona, and their team will be with us the whole week, and we'll even have a session with their team about how their products have been changing public space. And we see it live in person in Barcelona, and they will help take us through their stories of change from all cities really around the world. So I would love to hand it over to the one and the great Clara Campos, head of communications at Zikla. And I have a slide for you, Clara. Would you like to take it on?
Yeah, sure. Thank you,
Okay,
Meredith, for your.
I can't see you, so I can't.
Okay.
I can only see the slide. So this is what I've got for you.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Meredith, for the introduction. Well, Thikla, I'm going to introduce what Thikla is shortly, and also, well, explain you why we are partnering with Urban Cycling Institute for this project, and also to let you know what we expect from this course. So Thikla is a company based in Barcelona, and we develop urban mobility solutions to improve safety on bike lanes and accessibility at bus stops. As Mary said, we have projects all over the world, but we consider that our solutions have been an important part of Barcelona's and its metropolitan area's transformation regarding mobility. In this slide, you are right now seeing our solutions spotted in Barcelona and the metropolitan city. We have the zebra cycle lane separators in the first image. In the second one, the vectorial bus platform. In the third one, the modular traffic divider, we call it zipper. And lastly, the pointer traffic delineator. So all these solutions are reversible and very easy to implement. So they offer a great opportunity to develop safe cycling infrastructure in a quick and an easy way. And we believe that this is a big advantage for those cities that may be facing challenges in this area. And I think that that's what Barcelona experienced, and is part of what you will be discovering and experiencing during the course. Cicla, it's a company that it's committed to designing a street for all, and that's why we started to collaborate with the Urban Cycling Institute 3 years ago. And that's why we got involved in this project with them. So our aim with this course is double. On the one hand, we want to get all the participants closer to our mission, our values, our solutions, and our team. You will be spending the whole week in our offices and in constant communication with our team members. And part of our team will be also participating in the program. And on the other hand, we also want to learn from each of you. As I said in the beginning, we develop solutions that are flexible and adaptable to different contexts and different needs. So that's why all of your insights are very important for us, and we always try to include them in our processes and our methodologies. So I'm sure that we will be having very interesting discussions those days.
Thank you. Thank you, Clara. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see everyone's beautiful faces. So we have an amazing group of speakers here who will also be joining the course. And we wanted to just give some time to them. And we have one main question for everyone to reflect on, and that is, what can other cities learn from Barcelona? And actually, I was thinking maybe Clara, I could just start with you because you were just sharing a bit about Zikla, and that you've worked with cities all over the world, and you are living in Barcelona and you're experiencing it every day. So what do you think other cities can learn from Barcelona?
Well, sorry. Let me think. Um, I think that maybe the way that Barcelona made the change, like starting from small projects and little by little going making these projects broader and going from maybe tactical to permanent as the transformation that we can see now in Diagonal. It's really interesting to see, taking into account how the street was configured at the beginning and how um, we can live it today. I think that it's really an interesting case. Also because it's very replicable in many cities in the world. So
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah. So how to go from kind of small to bigger, so the scale, right? And then how is it replicable from one city to another? Yeah, I think that is a great start. So we also have with us today Sylvia Casoran, which, hello, Sylvia. I'm so happy to see you again.
Hi, Meredith. Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Sylvia, for those who do not know her, and we can drop maybe the LinkedIn, or you can also go to the page of the course and see everyone's incredible bios. But Sylvia has over 20 years of experience in sustainable mobility, and she's held many strategic positions, including the chief of Barcelona's Metropolitan Bicycle Office in 2015 to 2020. And deputy at the chief architect office at Barcelona City Council in 2021, and led the implementation of the superblocks. So a woman with extreme experience navigating politics, technical advancements, coordination. You really have it all, Sylvia. So what to you is something that other cities should learn from Barcelona?
Well, Barcelona, I think, is one of the top cities in active mobility, no? When we take into account the walking, Barcelona really takes the lead because more than 60% of commuting trips are on foot. And that makes very important, no, this reallocation of public space to promote even more walking because as most of the cities in Europe and the States, we are getting very old. Our population is getting old, and we need even more space for them to walk and for them to rest. We need benches everywhere, and in Barcelona, you will see that we've got plenty of benches and plenty of places to enjoy the public space. Because public space in Barcelona is a really crucial issue. It's the place where we meet. We usually don't meet at homes in our gardens. We don't have gardens at homes. We always meet at public space. So for us, public space is the space that needs to be the top in quality. And I think Barcelona has a really long tradition in quality in public space. And of course, mainly I refer to walk, but as you showed in your images and also Clara, the cycling infrastructure is also improving, and it's taking space from the car because this is the only way the cities can do this, especially in such a compact city as Barcelona, and especially in such a city with so many pedestrians and so many people just enjoying the public space, no? So yeah, I think this capacity of Barcelona makes that the conflicts in public space become also very challenging. So we need to imagine how to solve, no, the conflicts with the bus stops, for example, and the bike lanes, and the conflicts at each intersection, and the conflicts especially with pedestrians. For example, one of the green corridors in Consell de Cent in Eixample used to be one of the main bike lanes in the city, and now it's converted into a green corridor. So we really had to create more bike lanes for the cyclists to avoid the fast cyclists on the green corridors. They are always welcome, but they need to respect the priority of the pedestrian. That's a really um, important difference when we compare to the Netherlands, because in Barcelona the main agent stakeholder in public space is the pedestrian. So I think that makes also we need to find special solutions for our issues, and well, now I'm really looking forward to you coming to visit. And as Meredith said, yeah, I had a very long experience as from the technical positions and also political positions, but my main is as a neighbor in Barcelona, always pushing for change. And I'm cycling since I was 14. There were no really many bike lanes in the city, so it's a long story, a long history in promoting the cycling in my own city. So yeah.
Well, I love what you said about thinking about streets, especially as public space, right? This is something that I think is definitely going to be a key concept in the course, and one that departs from mainstream transportation planning, right? Where we think of roads and streets as places of, only movement and movement of cars. So so I like what you say about, rethinking what streets are for, and as public space, as spaces for social interaction, for being neighbors, right? This is something that we need in our cities, especially as space is a precious asset and a precious space to think about. I'm curious, in your role as back in, if we can think about back in 2015, and you just said, pushing for change. So how did you see yourself balance or walk that line of sort of advocate or activist and also bureaucrat, in an administration?
Well, in 2015, they came asked me to push for the bicycle in all the fields because the bicycle in the
Oh,
metropolitan scale needed to be pushed everywhere, from regulations to infrastructure to the bike sharing scheme, through education, through cycle logistics. We needed to really start everything in this metropolitan scale. And that was very easy for me because I really love working in network in with the network of the 36 municipalities, and we really enjoyed planning together, no, this metropolitan cycling map, from the starting from the sustainable urban mobility plans, but then agreeing because some municipalities were really planning a bike lane here, and the neighbor municipality a bike lane here. Let's do something together. No, that was really interesting. And then our role as metropolitan area was also quite difficult because the public space didn't belong to us. Public space belonged to the municipalities. So we were planning with them, and then we needed to imagine how to make this a reality. And then we started funding, of course, funding the bike lanes because it was our main role, planning and funding and helping from the technical point of view, but it was their public space, no? So that was also quite challenging, and it's still quite challenging because the BCBA network, no, that's how we call it, it's not completed yet. As you know, Meredith, you could see it some months ago. So not a building because it was a community from no, but it was really creating a big family of mobility technicians, no, that had to push for the bicycle with very different municipalities because some municipalities of the metropolitan area are 3,000 inhabitants and some others 1.7 million inhabitants. No, so that was also very interesting. Just sitting all together and going, and all the politicians approved this strategy. So that was also quite a special issue in our Spanish politics. It's not easy, no, that we all go together. And in
yeah,
this case, it worked out. So
yeah. That's great. I really resonate with what you're talking about here, the connection between power and coordination and funding. These are all topics that we are going to deep dive into in this course, and I imagine the participants, will have their own sets of experiences to bring in. To really kind of brainstorm and use Barcelona as a case to learn from, and what internal strategies were used to navigate these struggles of power and coordination and funding. Because that's exactly what I think every city faces, right? Is how to navigate these tensions, in a way that leads to change. So thank you so much. I am so excited for you to join us in this course and to learn from you and your experience. And thanks for being here, for taking the time to talk to us today.
I love to speak about mobility, especially about cycling and especially about Barcelona. So it's
Yes.
my perfect day.
So it's a perfect match. I'm so happy to hear that. I see that there are some questions coming in the chat, so thank you so much for keeping your questions. Please put them in, and we will have time after this round to keep asking. I would love to turn to Johan Fals. Hello, Johan. So nice to meet you. We haven't even met in person or digital yet, so here we are, our chance to shake hands digitally. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Did you listen me properly?
Yes, we can.
First, for sure, thank you, Meredith. Thank you, Shefali. Thank you, Anna. And thank you, Clara, for bringing us the opportunity to all of us to be able to explain what is going to happen next year in that missing course. I would like to introduce myself. I'm a public policy independent consultant, and also from 2008 to 2019, I have been head for design, construct, and project management for the Barcelona City Cycling Infrastructure Plan. And nowadays, I'm in a state-owned for the Ministry of Transportation institution, looking for the development and design of cycling infrastructure in interregional basis all around Spain. So, what we can just offer for all the people who is today listening to us? The cycling policies and the cycling infrastructure and the cycling policies I was saying is a question that comes a question of scale. You can just put the focus on a traffic light in an intersection, and then you just need to jump to the clouds to see what is going on the metropolitan area. It can be something very hard and very difficult, but we plan to give you all the tools to be able to manage those situations with kind of power and enthusiasm. It's true, usually when we speak about cycling, we can speak about rules and law, we can speak about infrastructure, we can speak about urban planning because we're putting a network on a pre-existing city. There is also questions about education and also how to make the people to learn to go on bicycles, because the very first lesson that I will tell to everybody is you are working for citizens, and every citizen and every neighborhood and every city has its own mobility culture. So at the first, you need to first take a snapshot what is going on your own neighborhood and in your own city, and then establish like common goals for everybody. So then you will need to make a lot of citizen participation, a lot of discussions, a lot of city forums, a lot of participation from universities, from NGOs, from stakeholders that are important. And then you have also some complementary policies that can be related, for example, with public bike-share systems. So we have a wide range of opportunities. You also have to pay attention on surveillance, on gender-related questions, on maintenance of infrastructure. So, independently of your own field of work or your specialty, we are going to give a wide range of information and tools to everybody related to all the questions. In addition to the interactions between different transportation systems, especially between the bus and the cycle, between the cycle and the pedestrians, and also how to manage, for example, traffic lights, street design, and so on. So we are here open to listen your questions.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that you've hit a lot of key points that we will definitely discuss in the course. So, and in case I'm not sure if you mentioned it at all, but Jan is an engineer, right? So we have an engineer with us, and a couple others as well. From Urban Cycling Institute, we focus a lot on the social side and the governance and policy side. And so that's why we're so happy to have you on board, because you have that very tactical and technical experience of implementing a bike lane network, and also dealing with the range of coordination that is needed, right, to navigate so many different cities and their technical capacities. And then you hit another really important topic of bike share, right? And this will definitely be highlighted in the course as well. how the implementation of bike share is working. Also on a regional scale, right? So there's the local bike share system, and then there's also the regional bike share system for Barcelona and how those intersect. And then the other point that we'll definitely be highlighting is the interaction between cycling and public transport. And I understand that you are a board member of the Association for the Promotion of Public Transport. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think other cities can learn about the integration between cycling and public transport from the Barcelona context?
Well, in Barcelona, it has been at the first sight a cultural approach that need to be overwhelmed or overtaken using data and analysis. This is another question that is very important. When we speak about road safety, we need to, for example, at the first sight, to make a distinction on what the user is perceiving or seeing from his insight, what is this his perception or her perception, and what is the real data about the conflict or about the problems. And in fact, in Barcelona, that, for example, we have a very prevalence of motorbiking. The presence of the bike in the streets has been heavily rejected from the bus operators, but at the end, the question was cultural because everybody was putting the focus on how the bicycle is interacting with the bus, but maybe we have like 10 or 20 mortal accidents a year relating motorbikes and in some cases with buses. So at the end, it was necessary to focus on what is not who is going on the transportation mode, if it's riding a bus or riding a bicycle. So what are the numbers of each?
Yeah.
What is the option? So when we have an objective, when we get we get the numbers, we can establish common goals. If we can't do this, it's very complicated to find a common solution for everybody. Of course, everyone has a different approach or a different sensibility to certain ways of managing the city. But the first was to taking data, to taking indicators, to making analysis. And then we discover that the combination of public transportation and cycling is giving the best numbers of public road safety all around the world. So it was, we found no answer against or in opposition to the bike program. But at the beginning, we need to fight a lot regarding this question, because when you get off of the bus, you're on the pedestrian foot or in kind of a safe area. So you don't expect to be fighting for the space. So the reaction of the passengers against the bike was warmer or more reactive than that one to the other more aggressive transportation systems that they were in the road. So
Yeah.
I know when I need to cross is the moment I will need to fight. But at the beginning, we need to think what the people is fighting against the new policies, because it's the new policies, it's because it is a political context with the bike. No. It was a question that people, when it gets off of the bus, thinks he's in a safe place. So we need to define this space in a different way. And this is what we discovered it, and we were able also to do it with the bus platforms that were laterly developed by Cicla. So it was an interesting way.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I love how we're also definitely going to bring in something you mentioned about personas and individual characteristics, right? How women travel and care obligation trips, and this type of intersectionality and identity, and how that impacts mobility is a really key aspect of thinking about inclusive streets. So we will definitely be taking this into consideration. Thank you so much, Jan, for being here today and spending time with us, and also for your efforts and participation in the course. I'm so looking forward to getting to know your work and taking lots of rides in Barcelona together. So thank you so much.
It will be a pleasure to explain, for example, how we make solutions in front of hospitals, main streets, main stations, residential areas. The same bus station interacting with the back lane has a different solution depending on at what time of the day we board the bus or who is getting off, and it's related to that of carrying mobility and things like that. It would be a
Thank you.
pleasure to share all this information with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Johan. All right. And we also have with us today Maria Elisa Ojeda. And she is here and will be joining us in the course. Maria Elisa is an architect specialized in sustainable mobility and urbanism. She has a lot of international experience, originally working as an architect at Copenhagenized Design Company in Copenhagen, which is also where she and I originally met.
Yes.
And since 2020, she has served as a technical assistant at the Barcelona metropolitan area bicycle office, where Ruth Lamas also works, her colleague, who unfortunately could not be here today with us, but will be at the course. And Maria Elisa is also co-founder and general coordinator of Cycling Without Age in Barcelona, which promotes cycling for elderly people and those with reduced mobilities. So we're so happy to have her today.
Likewise, I'm very happy to be here. I'm also very glad to have the opportunity to share our learning in cycling in Barcelona. Is very exciting.
Yeah. So what do you think from I mean your work you have worked on a broad range of things from more technical, developing standards and guidelines to the very social, right, with Cycling Without Age. So what do you think is a main lesson that other cities can learn from Barcelona?
Barcelona is definitely very interesting to know because as we already said, this is a walking city, but as cycling city is a work in progress. We are still working on it. There is a lot of challenging ahead still. But if you ask me what are the opportunities here in Barcelona are related specifically with bottom-up movements, I think to learn about what's doing Bicibus, Revolta Escolar, and all other social projects related to cycling is a very interesting experience. I learn from them every day. Also, Cycling Without Age was well, it's also challenging as was challenging to establish, but at the same time was very nice project because the city reacted very positive in a very positive way very quickly. So we have more than 200 volunteers in Barcelona. Even we only have 7 rickshaws, but it has been very interesting because the project started in 2016. That's when BCVS started. That's when the expansion of the cycling network started. So we were able to experience with the program how all these movements were blooming in the city and how cycling started to grow in a rapidly and very constant way. So we just learn every day. So I just wanted to say that Barcelona is very interesting because it's a work in progress. So it needs all of these inputs to go together, to play together, to coordinate, to push. Just yesterday, I was with Joan and others in the Pacto por la Movilidad. That is a space where a municipality gets together with many different actors from mobility. And I was so proud to hear all the different advocacy groups that were there, pushing, pushing with respect, but with very much strong words that the city must keep working, keep doing the job because the city needs this changing. That it's been happening, and we will see it because we will see the super blocks and the green axis, and many things that are really happening, but still it's a work in progress. So I'm very proud to be part of most of these advocacy groups. So as you said, try to balance between more technical work and also activist, because at the end, the bicycle is a social tool.
Yeah.
So I was very clear to me. It was very clear to me that bicycle is a tool to get a more social city, and that is so inspiring from my work. So I'm very happy to be able to do projects related with designing or with cycling infrastructure, but also like cycling without age projects that are related to people and to how bicycle can change the life of the people is very exciting. So as the other panelists, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for that. I love that you bring in this sort of theory of change, right? That it has to be quick in order for it to be visible, in order for the change to really manifest into people's lives, right? And that's something that is really inspiring about the Barcelona case, that this accelerated rate of change with the super blocks, with the BC network, it was able to capture people's imagination, right?
Yes.
And that's something that really inspired me in Barcelona, to see the Revolta Escolar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, okay, it's only 45 minutes, like once a month, if that. But Revolta Escolar is this 45 minutes where kids next to their school can take over a little portion of a street to play, right? And actually it has nothing to do with cycling, really, right? Nothing to do with cycling, but everything, right? Because when we have to reimagine this space, it takes so much effort to reimagine, but actually just doing it creates this mental image in our head that we cannot unsee. And I look back at that moment when I participated in the Revolta Escolar, where, this dad, oh my God, I mean, that was the video that I showed earlier. This dad was, right next to me, and he said, the police are late. We have to have the police present, but the police are late. And he pointed at me, come with me. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? And he had this bench, and he said, you need to stand here and direct the cars, right? Away from the kids. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here I am, a random American in Barcelona directing traffic and participating as basically as an activist. And I think that was the first moment when I was like, am I an activist? Am I having an identity crisis?
That
Never.
was a very, very lovely afternoon.
That
Really,
was an amazing
really,
afternoon.
yes.
Yeah. So, and I hope maybe something like that will be happening during this course, and then we can all volunteer and be a part of Revolta Escolar.
We
So,
have to organize something.
yes, exactly. Tangible, so that we can see it, right? And then it will never be unseen. Well, thank you so much, Maria Lisa, for taking time today, and that we will see you so soon as well. I have one last person on my list here, which is the wonderful Anna Castan, who is also helping to coordinate this course on Team Urban Cycling Institute, and also lives here in Amsterdam. Anna, what do you think people can learn from Barcelona?
I would like to share that I'm not from Barcelona, I'm from somewhere else. But designing this course with all those amazing speakers, I learned like key tool that they had to establish there, just to improve and to make progress in the city. And that was something that Maria Lisa mentioned before, that it was the mobility agreement between municipality and all these stakeholders. So based on that, I would say that this is something that we can all learn from. And inspired by that thing on the Barcelona case, we have designed like a role play for all our students during the course. So we will share with each of them like a profile. So they are gonna observe Barcelona from someone's shoes. So, and then with this profile, this stakeholder role, they will debate between each other, and they will hopefully end with an agreement for some changes that the city needs.
Yeah.
So for me, this is one of the highlights that I would like to share with the audience here, because I think that we can all learn a lot of this from this.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I want to keep you on, but so don't go away yet. But I also want to share a Mentimeter. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger here. Let's see, did that work? I don't know. Can everybody see the screen? The
Not yet.
Mentimeter? No.
No.
Okay. There we go. I think you should be able to see it now, but now I can't see any of you. So, but here, so what I would love for those who are joining us in the webinar here, to go to menti.com to use this code 4480-5719 and tell us a bit, what are the biggest opportunities for bike-friendly streets in your context? Because a part of this course will also be around, as Anna said, taking on some personas, taking on a role, and we want you to bring in ideas from your context, from your city. Responses are coming in very good. I have them hidden for now so people can, well, we have to build up suspense, right? That's what we have to do. Anna, could you give us an example of one of these personas as people are thinking about some opportunities in their context?
Yeah, I would say that we have not defined still, like, because we need to go through all the profiles of the students and then check, because it's gonna be a personal match.
Yeah.
But it's still like one of the stakeholders of the mobility pact in Barcelona was the transport, the transport institution. Always like, if you are part of the bus, the public transit institution, and you have to think about the street from your perspective, then how do you see cyclists? How do you see pedestrians? How do you see the experience of your own users? So it's like, this is one of the profiles that we were thinking about, and also, of course, I would, because I'm also a mother, and I think that the perspective of the children is also a good thing to bring into the role, because it's something that sometimes we miss, but it's quite an important topic to discuss about.
Yeah, definitely. And I would go beyond saying sometimes, right? I mean, historically, traditionally, identities of people are not something taken into account in traditional transportation planning models, right? Whether you're a mother or lower income, or I mean the intersections of identities, right, is a very difficult thing to integrate into into an algorithm or a engineering model. So we definitely want to bring to life this aspect of planning our cities, and something that Sylvia was also talking about, right? These are our public spaces. These are where neighbors meet. This is where social interaction happens. So what can that do for society when we think about our streets as places for mothers and children and elderly to thrive, right? Maria Lisa, I definitely expect you would have a lot to say about this with your work with Cycling Without Age. You know, what that program does for the people who participate in it. You know, it must be transformative, right? Okay, I'm going to show responses here. Let's see. Okay, what are the biggest opportunities for bike-friendly streets in your context? So many different ideas here. Really, I think a lot of these are new seeds of narratives, right? Our what our streets can be for, more greenery, more. I see support. I see health conscious. I see reaching climate goals, cargo bikes for school run, council members. So this is a fantastic way to, you know, if you're thinking about joining this program, to realize that you yourself come in with so much knowledge and experience of your hometown and your home city and how your city works. And we really acknowledge and appreciate all that comes into it. And this is definitely the type of course where we will be giving priority to exchange, right? Because that's another way of very social learning. It's not just the input from the course in terms of, you know, lectures and workshops, but also the peers around you. We give a lot of recognition to. But it seems like the top three here are health and space and community. And these are topics that we will definitely explore in this course. In fact, I'm speaking with someone from a health institute in Barcelona to come to one of our drinks as a more informal get together. Mark Neuenhausen, probably one of the most, I don't know, highest ranking scholars on the built environment and health and also cycling. So I think he's probably going to join us for one of our evenings as an exchange and Q&A with him. So thank you in participating. There's still more coming. Data collection, air quality, safer streets. Fantastic. I have one more question. So I know that some of you had put in the comment section and the Q&A section your questions, but I would love for you to add them in one more time here so that we can see them all and that we can see them again. If you were to come to this course, what burning question would you bring to Barcelona? And this doesn't necessarily have to be about, you know, Barcelona itself. It could be, well, it could be philosophical. It could be existential. It could be something very practical as well. And we encourage all types of questions to come to this type of course. And we have such a range of expertise joining us from Barcelona, from, you know, very tactical to policy level with Sylvia, to stakeholder engagement with Maria, Lisa, and also, you know, your tough engineering questions can definitely go to Johan. And maybe also Ruth, and maybe also Sylvia. You guys are architects as well. Those questions will definitely not be for me, but I will be asking the hard questions about actions and what are you all going to do when you go back home? But with Urban Cycling Institute courses, like I said, we really appreciate the inquiry process. So already coming prepared with questions is something that we definitely encourage. And in fact, before you arrive in this course, you will receive a little packet of resources. So a few readings, maybe a few YouTube videos to watch, because we believe from a pedagogical standpoint that you are not just an empty vessel when you come to this course. You are actually full of rich experiences and knowledge. And that's what we expect. We expect you to come with all of your burning questions. We expect you to already know a little bit about Barcelona history and this packet of information that we will provide you with. So you will come prepared and ready to hit the ground running and be able to, you know, move past that sort of, I don't know, the history and stuff like that. And really start to think about what are the tough questions that you want to ask. So I'm already going to reveal some of these. Wow, look at all this coming in. So how to change behavior, great. A step-by-step model for implementing bike share schemes, fantastic. An old city network to a newer city network. I think that we can definitely touch on as well, being a historic city. Over here we have convincing politicians. Oh, the golden question, right? Convincing politicians. So I think Sylvia, maybe we can get you in on this question at some point during the course. I don't know. Sometimes I get stuck on the word convince. Like, do we have to convince or do we actually have to just show? Right. And that's where these powerful images of the Revolta Escolar and the super blocks, right? This is about showing and putting that imagination, actually making it more tangible. Isn't that more convincing? I don't know. Local business owners, yes, a standard question, right? How do we get the support of local business owners? How do we deal with pushback? We actually just launched a whole nother course about bike lash that actually is already full. So I'm sorry about that, but we will be launching it again, probably next year at some point. How to avoid the risk of gentrification. I think this is a really relevant question for Barcelona, knowing that this is a heated debate right now, right? Gentrification, affordability. Other networks, you know, bus priority lanes, we'll definitely be talking about that. The super blocks performance, how to imitate it in the US, fantastic. I would love, whoever wrote this question, bring this question and bring the example from your city where you think this could be done. Right? I mean, that's what we want. We would love for you to bring this in, and then let's work on it in the workshops that we'll be having. Yeah, how to apply these concepts to smaller cities. How to integrate cycling. Oh, sagely, what a nice word, sagely, along a commercial corridor. Fantastic. Local conditions, fantastic questions coming in here. Thank you so much. So I'm going to stop this screen and switch over to another one, but you can continue to ask questions. What I'm going to do in this last minute, because we also have to wrap it up, is share the preliminary program, which we will also be making available on the website very soon, but you will get a glimpse of it. Here Here we go. This is always like a very, nope, that's not the one I wanted to share. Here we go. Now you have it in full screen. So our courses are always a balance between experiencing. So that's this green version, these green blocks of experiencing. So being out in the city. We will not be indoors, for 8 hours a day. That is not how to run a course. We really think that this type of content and learning needs to be immersive and experiential. And that experiential learning is one of the most crucial aspects to the learning process, both on an individual level and on a social level. So we'll have you pairing up with your peers, going out and visiting sites, going independently out, but also with locals themselves. So Sylvia will lead a tour, and Ruth will lead another tour. And then another block, about let's say 30 to 40%, is interacting together, kind of working through some of the concepts and struggles and key questions about power, about coordination, about funding, about data. And then we also have, very hands-on workshop and sessions. For example, the quick build workshop with Zikla and Johan. And also around stakeholder dynamics, which will be an important session as well. Every evening, we'll also send you out for independent site visits. And those are also a crucial input to the next day. So the course follows a flow, right? It's designed in a way to build on itself day over day. And also it thrives on group work. So we will have groups that will be working on a specific case, ideally one that you all, as participants, bring in. So that question about super blocks in the US, great, bring it. This is the workshop, fantastic. And that the purple section, the debrief and group work, is also a very crucial session for exchange and for debriefing, for reflecting on the day and building up to the next day. And then we will also take part and volunteer for the bike bus, which I'm sure will be a highlight. And at the end will be our gold standard of action building. So how do we take all of this inspiration that we've had for 4 days, and how do we package it together, digest it into some tangible actions to take home? And we will help you guide you through this. It's not just gonna, expect you to come up with it out of thin air, but we're going to work through this together and come up with some fantastic actions. I will stop sharing my screen, I'm sorry that we went over time, but sometimes that's what happens when you get going. So with that, I'm going to close this. And please, if you are interested in joining the course, go to our website, urbancyclinginstitute.org, apply by December 7th. And I hope to see you in Barcelona. Thank you so much. And thank you all. A round of applause for Anna, Maria Lisa, Clara, Sylvia, Johan. Who did I miss? Shafali. Thank you so much all for organizing this. and keep in touch.
Shout out to Dylan as well for moderating the chat.
Dylan, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.